I'm live. We are live. Hello, everybody. I'm glad that there are already a lot of people here at 7, because usually we have to wait for people to filter in. To everyone who is not in this time zone, thank you for being here. I know that it's probably not easy to log on to a live stream at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. So thanks for coming. Yeah, I'm going to give like 2 minutes to let more people filter in, and then we can get started. Yay to the 3 a.m. club. You guys are heroes for sure. I would not have the same dedication, I don't think. Hello. People are coming in. Sorry I had to move this to today. The Labor Day weekend, totally screwed up my whole schedule, and I was just thinking it was Monday all day today, but we're here and we're gonna march on. Okay, there's so much to talk about in this episode, so I want to wait just a little bit longer before we get started to let any stragglers in who may be late. But it was definitely, as I said in my reaction, probably my favorite episode of the season so far, for reasons that I have written down on a piece of paper next to me so that I actually have something to talk about. If you guys do or did celebrate Labor Day, what did you do? Anything fun? Hope everyone got some well-earned rest. I know I did. All right, we're about 2 minutes in. So today is EarpChat number 3, the third EarpChat that we've done. And today we're going to be talking about episode 7, I Fall to Pieces, which may or may not be considered a filler episode. I had seen a couple articles that said that it was. I didn't really think that upon first viewing. I actually thought that it was really, again, even a filler episode in Winona Earp doesn't really feel like one, because it's always so full of information and characters. And to me, a filler episode kind of just means that we're straying away from the plot, which we didn't necessarily, because we were still seeing Nicole trying to become sheriff, and that was a large part of the episode. And then towards the end, we saw a lot of Doc and his vampire stuff. So to me, it didn't really feel like a filler episode. If anything, it was the best episode of the season, because it was so full of random good stuff. So, oh boy. Okay. Catching up with the comments. All right. So let's dive in. I thought this was a really interesting episode for many reasons. And it was my favorite episode because of its pairings of random characters, or seemingly random characters. I called this the odd couple / strange bedfellows trope, I guess, which is when an episode pairs up individuals that don't normally get to interact, or they interact in very limited ways, as opposed to how they react with other characters in the world. And we got a lot of that in this episode, namely, obviously, Winhot, Nicole, and Winona were just the best thing I've ever seen. And we had Doc and Mama, who were off together, taking care of business. And in a little sort of strange way, Jeremy and Waverly, they obviously interact a whole lot, and we see them together a lot. But this was it was really fun to see them kind of play off of each other in a way that they don't do in a group. they were just hilarious together, obviously, as well. But I thought that Nicole and Winona were off the charts amazing. So funny. And it really is fun to see them together by themselves because they're such opposites, like complete opposite people. And I think that was really evident in this episode. But I'm going to read now all your comments about what you guys thought about it. Legend of Tomorrow is good at the Strange Bedfellows episodes. Yeah. And it's because they have such a large cast. And I really like that Winona has a pretty big cast as well, so that you get those kind of interesting pairings that you wouldn't get with, you know, a smaller group. That's really cool. Everyone's saying that you can pronounce it Winhot or Why Not. I like Winhot just because it includes Nicole's full last name. Yeah, what Drunk Nicole was amazing. What was everyone's favorite part of the Winona and Nicole story? Because I tried to pick my best moment in this episode, and I literally think I wrote down like 10 things because I couldn't pick just one. Drunk Nicole's interactions with Winona are always the best. I actually agree, and I would add that Drunk Nicole's interactions with Waverly are great as well. Like, I wish we had gotten another line like, "You're so pretty and I like you so much." I thought that was like one thing the episode was lacking, was a little bit more interaction between like Drunk Nicole and Waverly, but still is excellent episode. Winona's nicknames for Nicole were so good. And I can't even, like, when they were said, I was like, oh, that's really creative. But now I can't even think of one of them. I think like something playing on like tater tot was one of them, like hot tot or something like that. It was really funny. In the forest fighting the Rebs was the favorite part. Yeah. The whole sequence where they were running around in handcuffs together is another trope that I love, and that oddly enough, like I've seen a couple shows do. Anytime you handcuff together two people who are A, like we're trying to get together, or B, are like frenemies, is hilarious. And they actually, as soon as I saw that that was happening, that they were handcuffed together, I thought of the episode of Lost where Kate and Juliet get handcuffed together and they're running through the jungle. And I was like, this is just a nod to Lost. It was wonderful, except in Lost it was like mud in the jungle, and Waverly or Winona and Nicole were running around through the snow. This Spice Girl comment, yeah, she called her Ginger Spice. That was really funny. There's a lot of good. All of the things that you guys were writing, I wrote down in my best moments. The guac, excuse me, was one of my favorite lines. Tater hot, that was it. Thank you. Okay. These are all exactly what I have written down on my paper. It's so funny. Oh my God, Avalance did that handcuff thing too, didn't they? Didn't they? It's a great trope. We all love that trope. Yeah. Oh, so good. Okay. So I'm going to go through each part of the things that I wrote down here. So Nicole and Winona, again, easily my favorite part of the episode. Their chemistry is so palpable, especially when they're put at odds with each other. I mentioned the handcuff together. That's one of the best tropes of all time, and we should do it in every single show that ever exists. It's amazing. And I wrote down a couple of my favorite lines. So here are my favorite lines from this episode. Obviously, this would be a good time to tell you that I'm a lesbian is like the most iconic line of all time. So funny. And especially because she was drunk. Hilarious. The first line that I wrote down when I was writing down my favorite lines, because it's the first one I thought of, was when Bunny faints because she sees the guy in the window, the gnome, and she screams ISIS. I swear to God, I fucking lost it. And like, obviously from my reaction, I died. I thought that was so funny. just the way that she said it. The actor who played Bunny really brought to life a character that we just love to hate, because she was terrible. She was really terrible, a terrible human being, but so funny and so much fun to hate, especially when she fainted and screamed ISIS. So good. Bunny was so terrible, but the ISIS line was hilarious. Yes, completely agree. Question, did I look up Tess and Scott? No, but I did come to learn by reading recap articles that they're Canadian figure skaters, which I kind of got from context. I didn't know that it was like a Canadian thing. I obviously was not clued into this because I am not Canadian, unfortunately. Wish I was. You guys are the best. But I didn't look it up, but I did find out later by reading that that's who they were, which was hilarious. This is funny. Somebody pointed out that the makeout couch, the Way Hot makeout couch, was missing from Nedley's office. Maybe it was his own couch that he put in his office and then took back to his house. But little does he know that that was the start of Way Hot. Little does he know. She's very fertile. It was just the one time. Another great line in that whole section. I wrote down, this is what I wrote exactly, or the entire exchange about Bunny's drugs. That's what I wrote down because it was so funny. Just the banter that they had going on after Bunny passed out when Winona wanted to go for the cash instead of the medication. It was amazing. Another great moment that Max brought up, Winona threatening Bunny to defend Nicole, was great. At the end, that was just so lovely that Winona is so fiercely protective of Nicole, because it was pretty interesting in the episode. They kind of talked about, and Bunny especially, talked about how Nicole was basically seen as an outsider. And we've seen this like played out in her character a little bit, being that she, she wasn't from Purgatory. She was there when she was a kid, but she's not a Purgatorian, I guess you would call them. And she came in, and I guess people from Purgatory are pretty protective of their hometown, and she was kind of seen as an outsider. And even she was seen as an outsider kind of in the inner circle of Black Badge when that was a thing, and like the group of them. She didn't find out until later that there were demons. But Winona defending her to become sheriff is actually a really important moment for her, that Winona would do that. And she's probably just as protective of Nicole as she's of Waverly, or pretty close to it. Winona went all big sister on Bunny. Yes, she did. Sister-in-law. Hashtag sisters-in-law. Soon. Everyone's talking about Nedley. I wrote down Nedley and Nicole because I feel kind of stupid for not realizing that Nicole was the one in the photo of her and Nedley at the beginning of the episode. For some reason, I thought that it was Winona, because whenever he saw it, he said that she and Nicole had a lot more in common than she thought, which for some reason made me think that it was Winona, which maybe that was what we were meant to think, or what the episode was trying to lead us to believe, because it didn't look like the little girl in the photo had red hair. But upon finding out that it was, in fact, Nicole in the photo, not only was it Nicole, but it was Nicole on the day she was rescued. Just cried a river. Couldn't believe. It was just like kind of a shock, honestly. And it was so sweet and so moving. And their relationship, though largely professional, always felt like it was something of like a father-daughter relationship. And I thought that it was really awesome that the person that ended up being the one that saved her when she was a kid was an idealistic local cop. And it makes me think a lot about Nedley. And it makes me really sad for him, because he's defended the town for as long as he could muster. And that probably was not an easy task. And to have him in the last episode talk about how he was tired of lying to defend Purgatory and tired of doing the job. I mean, he was doing it for a long time and largely alone before Winona came back. So he was pretty much like the sole defender of Purgatory. And I mean, He gets all the awards for that, truly. When Nicole told Winona that she loves Waverly, but also adds that she loves Winona, it was so touching. It was very touching. I love everything about Nicole and Winona. Just the fact that they can bond over their shared love of Waverly is just awesome. I love Nicole hiding Waverly's bra before Bunny got to the house. I missed that, apparently. I saw her cleaning up, but I was pretty much fixated on the fact that she put out a Bible, which I thought was hysterical. Didn't see her hiding a bra. That's really funny. Not sure if anyone's mentioned, but I like to point out that Nicole beat the Revenant at the drinking game. Nicole won the drinking game. She won. Who knew? Like, Nicole can hold her alcohol, for sure. I'm still reading. I'm catching up. Nedley's the dad that everyone wants. Sheriff Dad. I mean, we've said it from day one. Sheriff Dad. Defended the town and the girl specifically. Yeah, that's important to note, especially considering, like, the Earp family was pretty taboo, I guess, because, you know, Mama went crazy because of the demon, Jolene. And, you know, Winona shot her dad and then was sent away. And then Waverly was just living in purgatory all by herself. And they were just kind of a weirdly, like, they were like untouchables in terms of families of purgatory. And the fact that he looked out for them despite that is so sweet. And I love him so much. And I really just want him to stick around. I think someone commented on one of my reactions saying that he isn't going to leave. And Emily said that he has a big storyline coming up, maybe, unless this was it. But I really hope that he sticks around. I want to learn more about Nedley. And Nicole won it and was ignored, and I, for one, am offended. Yeah, I mean, I think Nicole should get some credit for that. I feel like the fact that they were being chased out by revenants that wanted to kill Winona for cheating were, you know, it's probably grounds for them not acknowledging the fact that Nicole won, but that is very true. Let's move on to Doc the vampire, still a vampire from, you know, last week. I still don't understand fully that decision. I think that it's really telling of his character, and I think that whilst I'm reacting, is the nature of doing reactions, is that you kind of miss important details because you're focused on listening, but you're also trying to react as well as you can. And I think last week which was the Christmas episode, when Winona and Doc had that exchange, I think they were standing under mistletoe. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. They were standing in a doorway. They were talking, and, you know, that was like when Winona effectively rejected him. I didn't really catch the greater implications of that, meaning that he was going to later decide to become a vampire, like, based on that, and the fact that he was afraid of being mortal, yada, yada. But now that I know that, and now that I understand why, or I think I understand why he did it, it's really interesting revelation for his character. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact that Winona found out, first of all, and it was a very emotional scene, and that she banished him from the homestead. I mean, that's no small gesture of being mad at somebody, to actively kind of shoo him from their life. And I guess I kind of wonder what Waverly and Jeremy, how they're going to feel about it. And Nicole too, because I feel like they've all grown to love Doc and appreciate his presence in the group. So I don't know. I loved the scene at the end between Winona and Doc. I thought it was like, they always act so well with each other, Tim and Melanie, like, they have really good chemistry against one another, especially in situations where they're angry with each other. I've always just thought it was so, like, some of the arguments and conversations that they've had are just so, like, beautifully done, even if they are mad at each other. So John Henry Holiday, "You are no longer welcome in my home," was Melanie's favorite line from the season. It was a really good line, and it was delivered beautifully. Kudos, Melanie. Melanie is amazing. Yes, she is truly amazing. I'm trying to think of... I can't think of a time when I wasn't completely and utterly enthralled by Melanie's acting. It's always just been so good. It's just so good. I'm going to list my best/favorite moments of the episode while we think about Doc and his vampireness. So my overall best moment of the episode, which was the whole episode, was Nicole and Winona just being paired up and doing all the stuff that they did together. The, Bunny passing out and that hilarious exchange to the bar with the Revenants, and Nicole participating in the drinking game and winning the drinking game. Thank you, everyone who mentioned that. To them running through the woods, fighting the Revenants, to, them coming back to the sheriff's station and, like, both of them trying to convince the gnome that they would be a better wife. It was so nice because it was all just really flattering comments on each other's parts, and just showed how much they actually, like, respect each other and how different they are from one another. So that was my overall best moment. Oh yeah, and then I wrote down the gnome scene in general was so funny because it was like Nicole and Winona bickering and trying to convince the gnome, who was just standing there doing nothing, and then Jeremy and Waverly trying to, like, put the female gnome back together and, like, the plaster boobs. Hilarious. I loved it. So those were my best moments. And I'm sure many of you would agree that they were some of the best moments, if not the best moments of the episode. Let's talk about Doc again. I think a lot of people are defending Doc in this situation because they feel that Winona rejected him and doesn't get to be mad. I don't agree. I feel like she has every right to be mad. I think everyone forgets how cold Doc was towards her for 4 months. Yeah, I mean, they have a tumultuous relationship. They've never been domestic, despite having a child together. They've never really settled in to one another because I feel like they have a lot of conflicting values and a lot of baggage, both of them. And I think that it's really hard to, like, fully trust somebody when you both have extreme trust issues. So I think both of their reactions to that situation were somewhat understandable. I feel like Doc was slightly more impulsive in his decision to just become an immortal vampire. I think I would side slightly towards Winona's side because, she has all the baggage too, but she didn't exactly make a life-altering decision that she didn't consult him about. She's just sleeping with this Charlie guy, which is like what normal women do when they have trust issues. They kind of gravitate, or normal people, I guess, do. They gravitate towards people that they think are easy and just, like, casual, and they feel safe in the casualness of it. I think she was feeling really, I don't know, like, afraid of the commitment aspect of her being with Doc, especially since they have a kid who we still haven't seen. I think her getting upset is valid. Yep, I agree. Doc has hurt her so many times. Banishing him is the best she could do. I think that she's going to regret doing that. I don't think it's going to last, but I think that she definitely acted in the moment and was, like, so overcome with this feeling of betrayal, which is understandable that she, she's Winona and she does, impulsive stuff. So fun episode into the last 5 to 10 minutes. It was, like, goofy and hilarious until it was, like, Nedley, Nicole, and then I was crying, and then it was Doc and Winona, and then I was crying, and then it was Waverly. Oh yeah, Mama dipped. Also wrote that down. Mama skipped town again to go find Julian randomly, even though we just got her back. I thought that was a little bit bizarre considering she's only really been a part of like the last 2 episodes. And I like her as a character, but to be completely honest, I care a lot more about our core people. So I don't really mind that she left. I just sucks for Waverly. She was crying at the end, and then I was crying again, so everyone was crying. We all been crying. It's fine. It's Winona Earp. We all cry. I think Doc wanted his immortality back and went too far. Winona deserves to be mad at him. He didn't consider her or Allison at all in doing that. I agree. And I can't conceive of making a decision like that. A decision like that doesn't exist in real life, obviously. But I can't conceive of making a decision like that, like, on an impulse. Because I'm a very, like, I am indecisive as F. And I can't make decisions, period. So making a decision like that without even talking to the people that I consider my friends and consider my family, like, probably wouldn't be able to do it. So in that way, it just doesn't make sense to me that he would do that. And Doc lied. He slept with Kate. He did. Doc's motives are just all over the place lately. They're a family and should communicate and work through it together after everything they've been through. I'm a strong believer in good communication, but good communication does not make for good television. It does not make for good drama. So I guess in that way, like, it doesn't make sense because if it did make sense, it wouldn't really necessarily be that good of a show. But, you know, they got to do things for the drama of it. Doc has tuberculosis. If he was dead in a few months, he would still have missed Alice. Does he still have it? Did we get that information yet? I remember we talked about this last week. I don't know. I hope he doesn't die. If Doc was sick, wouldn't they have known for 4 months in? He was like on his deathbed when he became immortal in that scene. So like, I feel like he would have died already if he still had tuberculosis. Hashtag everyone is crying. Yeah, exactly. Especially me. I think she'll be back for the finale. I'm assuming we're talking about Mama again. Yeah, I mean, she has to come back. She's like one of the biggest draws of the 3rd season was the fact that she was going to be around. So I can't imagine that she's gone for good. But like I said, I like seeing Winona and Waverly's reactions to Mama more than I liked seeing Mama, if that makes sense. He's been sick since he lost the ring. I missed that. Has he? Oh boy. Oh boy. I think their kid will be back for the finale. I think Mama and Alice will probably make another appearance. Mama is more likely, but I think Alice will make an appearance. I hope she does find Julian. I also think that Julian will make an appearance, to be completely honest. I hope that he shows up, like, for the questions for next season. Everyone stop hurting Waverly, poor baby. You know, it's just, everyone's always hurting Waverly all the time, except for Nicole. But everyone else is hurting her. When Mama comes back, I want Nicole to stand up to her about leaving Waverly. Again, we might add. Mama's she's just a bundle of confusion. I think Julian will come back for the finale with Mama. Agree. At least I hope they do. Still think that Charlie is Julian. Wouldn't that just be like so gross? That Winona is sleeping with her sister / half-sister's father. I can't. It's so B as fuck. I hope that doesn't happen. He came back between when Willa took the wall down and when Winona re-erected it. If Mama didn't find him outside, she wouldn't be able to bring him back in. This is where I'm a little lost because I kind of remember those things happening, but the specifics of it, like, I need to go back and do a full, like, deep dive into Winona and the timeline because I'm just kind of unclear on when that all happened. We know when Willow took the wall down season 1, end of season 1. Winona re-erected it, beginning of season 2? I can't really remember. I'm ready for a solid Way Hot scene next episode. Yes. Way Hot was severely lacking in this episode. I need a gay joy, super gay seal. Wrong show. I mean, I have it right here because I found it. Between the last time I moved and like a couple months ago. So super gay seal can apply to any and all show that we want to apply to. We need a Purgatory Pride episode. Agreed. It is still Pride year. It's Pride year every year. Let's be real. Can we talk about the fact that the fraternity's name was Omicron Theta Pi OTP? I wonder if that was on purpose. Another one-liner from Nicole and Winona. Push with your legs, shut with your mouth. I actually missed that one. I know that I saw it tweeted, and I know that it happened when they were like pushing the bookcase away from the wall, but that was really funny. Balshar's ring burning demons is an interesting point. Oh yeah, so Balshar's ring burned Doc while he was wearing it. But that's, because he turned into a vampire. So burning demons, and then it did protect Nicole from Jolene. So what would be the point of that? Because Balshar is a demon. Kind of. It's all very interesting. I've done everything on my list except for my biggest question going into the next episode. Biggest question, will Doc ever be mortal again? I think so. I think that some way or somehow there's going to be a loophole to get him back. Maybe not, though, but maybe I think definitely him and Winona will reconcile as they're not really keen on each other right now. But I think that at the very least they'll reconcile if he still is a vampire forever. And if he's not a vampire forever, I just kind of want to know when and how and why. And actually a second biggest question, which is will Mama return with Julian, which we spoke about a little bit. But again, I think that he'll make an appearance. If not in this season, definitely in the next season. And that'd be really cool to see if Mama found him or if he already is in the Ghost River Triangle and she doesn't really have to look, outside of it. Kind of seems like a pointless endeavor if she is looking outside of it, if he's already in the Ghost River Triangle, but who knows? Okay, I'm going to catch up a little bit on the last of these comments, and then I'm going to end this live stream. Jeremy and Waverly gay fist bump, hilarious, amazing. That's what I was talking about when I mentioned the fact that it's fun to watch them bond and play off each other without the group around. That was just like so cute that they're bonding over their queerness. Love it. God love it. Fist bump was life. Yes. When isn't it Pride year? Never. It's always Pride year. Did I watch the preview? Again, I think I said this last week, but since I don't watch the episodes live, they don't play right after I watch. And then usually after I watch the episode, I just hop right into editing and then I kind of forget to watch the preview. So no, I did not, but we can talk about it. I just haven't seen it. Julian or Waverly saved Doc as angels. Yeah, maybe Julian will be able to do something about his vampire stuff. Need more angel talk. We need more Waverly's angel backstory. That's something that this episode didn't address again, but with Mama leaving to go find Julian, I'm assuming we're gonna figure out who the heck Waverly is at some point. We've been asking that question since, the treehouse in season 1. Where Bobo said she wasn't an ERP. We really, we've gotten some answers, but not many. Where did Bobo go? He was mysteriously gone from this episode. He got let out, obviously, but I don't know if he can leave the Ghost River Triangle. I think he'll probably be in the next episode. But I haven't seen the preview, so I wouldn't know. Okay. I think this is a good stopping point. I think we covered a lot of ground. There's a lot to cover in this episode again. When is there not? This is a great episode. I really don't. I don't see how they can top it, but I know that they will because they always do. Consistently, Winona Earp impresses, which is why it's so refreshing to do reactions to Winona Earp as opposed to some other shows. But in any case, good night, everybody. To everyone who's awake at 3 a.m., you're the best. Thank you for showing up. And I guess I'll see you guys next week on Monday. So back to our regularly scheduled programming for the EarpChat for episode 8.